Hello, friends. It has been what seems like forever, but it has been 3 months. I really wish I had some like great excuse as to why I haven't posted, but honestly, it's just been very overwhelming, very stressful time from basically the end of September through like the last week up till last week. So I had school, I had work, I had a whole bunch of issues going on with the place where I was renting, my neighbors in the neighborhood, and I just decided that I needed to get the heck out of there. So I moved back with my mom, which kind of changed a lot of things for me. I now have to commute back and forth from work like 35 minutes every day. So that's fun for the budget. But I finished up my fall classes. I am not taking classes next semester because it was just too much. I guess I shouldn't say I'm not. If I take classes, it's probably not going to be until like the second 8 weeks. So like March. Yeah, because I was like stressing hardcore. And then I did have a medical issue around Thanksgiving. So, we are just hanging on for dear life. And this little 6-month update is going to show that. So, if you have not seen my first debt confession video, I will post it up above. But this is just going to be my 6-month update. There are some, places that I have improved on. There are others where I have not improved, and that is just life. So we are going to just dive right into it. I have already pre-filled out the things on the paper because I did want to keep this on the shorter side. So it's going to look a little different than my last debt confession layout, but I think this is probably going to be a little bit better layout for me because I'm not going to have 80 million things to fill in. So kicking it off, the one thing that everybody loves to talk about is student loans. So I believe either in an August or September video, I did talk about how I qualified for the student loan debt relief stuff. And I got an email saying that, fill out this form. Great, you've been accepted. And then, they blocked it. So we were going so good. And then 2 people just had to freaking stick their feet out there and trip everyone. But my amount is 13,507. I do have all of my stuff on a Google Doc over here. So if there's like a lot of pauses, it's probably because I'm looking to see where different things are on my Google Doc. I don't really feel like sharing it like public yet. So we're just going to kind of keep that a little bit private. But I do have 13,507 after it gets paid off. Obviously, payments are paused until summer 2023. I think that's when I'm going to decide if I'm just going to start making payments again or what happens, because I logged in after they said that it was paused and like payments were going to start kicking in again. So I logged in to see like what my payment would have been. And for some reason, I did not ask to be put on a payment plan. I didn't like do anything. And it tells me I don't have a payment due until April of 2026. I'm not sure where they got that number from because I did get my associates in May this year, but I know that there's usually like a 6-month plan, but this is like 4 years out, like 3.5 years out before I have to make a payment. And so I'm just really confused by that. So maybe once it gets closer to that summertime when payments are set to resume, maybe they'll update that and that date will change. I don't know. I'm just very confused by all of the stuff that's going on. So I'm just focused on the 13,507 for right now. If I end up having to pay, back what I was supposed to get in the relief, I will basically just go by smallest to largest amounts because I do have a couple that are just, a couple thousand. And I do think I have the 2 larger ones is where, it hurts because I think I have one that's like 9,000 and one that's 8,000. And then the rest of them are kind of small. So that is where we're living there. And then car loan. This is the one thing that I am so proud of because last time over the summer, I had 91, almost 9,200 left to pay. And I'm at 77.97 and 29 cents. So I've done almost 1,500 in 6 months and I am a week ahead. So normally I pay on a bi-weekly payment structure and I am just a little bit ahead on that as well. I like to basically, whenever I have like little bits of money left over, either put it towards a payment or do principal only payments. I've kind of been toying between the two because I do like $7 principal only payments, $5 principal only payments, just because with the way my budget was in September and October, I did have to dip into the money that was in my online savings to pay my rent and bills and other things. So I just didn't want to put like a whole lot of money to a principal payment and then be like, crap, I should have used that for a regular payment because I really needed it. But I do think in 2023, I'm going to kind of test it and see. With my position at work now, I am eligible to get monthly bonuses? Bonuses? That just sounds weird. If we meet specific goals, I got two, I think, August and September. And then we have not met October or November. I don't know where we are at for December. I need to check on that to see if I'm going to get a bonus or not. It's not a whole lot. It's literally like a little over $100 most of the time because my store is like a smaller store and it's based on percentages of sales and stuff like that. So I think if I do get a bonus this month, I may test the waters next month and put a chunk of that, probably like $50 maybe, to a principal only payment to see how low the interest like drops, because I am like a little like, I don't know, like I like to know like the daily interest rates, the monthly, like I look at my statements and see how much interest I've paid, divide that by like 30 or 31 or whatever, and just realize like each day that I have this charge to a credit card, this is how much I'm like, screwing myself out of basically. So $1.52, which I think when I started the debt confession video, I want to say it was at like 170 or 180 a day. So we've dropped it quite a bit by just paying things early and kind of keeping on that same track of just doing like little payments at a time whenever we can. So I'm very proud of myself for that. I obviously know that I will not have that car like paid off with like actual money, but if things pan out like I'm hoping they do, I will probably be selling my car and I will have about 5,000, almost 6,000 depending on the market at that time, in equity to take with me. So that I'm very excited for and looking forward to, because every single car that I've owned, except for like the like little junker ones that I've had in high school and like outside of high school, have all had negative equity roll into the loans. So I feel like I'm finally doing good. The new every two does not work out, you guys. Not unless you have like a really good interest rate of like 0% or you put a ton of cash down at the beginning, because I was just rolling over negative equity every 2 years thinking I was the shit, and I was definitely not. But yeah, so moving on to credit cards. Last time we had 17 cards, you guys, 17. And I don't think that included my line of credit for my phone, which I did pay off. So yeah, the dollar amount is not going to be the fun part. The amount of cards is what I'm proud of. And the fact that I've closed some, kept them, like not charged anything to some of them. And yeah, so I'm trying to look at the positive side. I know there's some negatives, but I'm just trying to keep myself in a positive mindset. We have $31,683.04 in credit card debt. That is very painful because I believe last time I did my video back in June, I had like 26 or 27,000. So obviously some things have gotten charged. Some things have started acquiring a lot more credit card interest. I went back and I double checked some of my cards just to see in the past 6 months how much some of them have gone up. A lot of them have gone up 2 to 3%, which is insane. So part of that is going to be the fact that some of the interest rates have gone up, and some of it is just because I got myself into a position where, one, I had a medical emergency and I was so terrified that I did not want to pull money from my savings. That's a scarcity mindset. That I just charged things. I thought it would be easier to charge like $1,300 and just be done with it than to pull $1,300 out of savings, knowing that the budgeting that I had going on at the time with not being able to do a lot of extra work or have a lot of extra time because of school and work and other things, that $1,300 may not seem like a lot, but the fact that about $120 goes in automated to that online savings account each month, to me, I was like, that's going to take 10 months to repay myself. That's almost a whole year. That's not thinking about what if this happens again. Because I had a kidney stone and I didn't realize I had kidney stone. So I went to the ER. So that was fun. And I went on a weekend. So we sat around for hours for them to say, well, you don't have RSV, you don't have COVID, you don't have the flu, blah, 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 blah. And come to find out a few days later, I passed a kidney stone. So we learned our lesson on that. But that was like some of the worst pain I've ever been in. Mind you, I don't have kids, so I don't know what labor feels like, but ooh, and I have a high pain tolerance too. That was the reason why I went to the ER, is because I was like, this is the most severe pain that I felt. And I broke my foot before and walked around it all day and didn't realize it was broken until like I couldn't put my foot back in my shoe. And I was like, this is a little more swollen and a little more tender than I thought it was, earlier in the day. So yeah, I guess I'm just not as, hardcore when it comes to abdominal pain as I am when it comes to, broken arms and broken feet. So, yeah, so we did a little oopsie daisy there. So, but in the grand scheme of things, where I'm trying to keep it positive, is that I now only have 13, technically 14, but this one is about to be paid off, 13 cards left. I did do a 0% balance transfer on a Wells Fargo card to get a couple of cards kind of combined in here so we can pay down some of these overall ones. PayPal after Rakuten is going to be my next go-to, because this is 0%, which is expiring in March. So I've got 1, 2, and I think Amazon will be my third one that I look after, because this one is at 28.99%, and I think it's going up again because my SoFi online savings account, I got a notification saying that the interest rate for that is, after the new year, I believe, is going up again. So normally they up the savings interest rate when the Fed has either already hiked the rates or is thinking about doing it. So I don't even want to think about that. Honestly, I feel like at some point someone needs to step in and be like, payday loans are predatory because you have these astronomical interest rates. I think there needs to be a cap for credit cards as well. Obviously, it's up to the person using it to be responsible, but the fact that the whole kind of gimmick of these cards is, based on credit score, based on different things, and then to just increasingly just have like no limit to how high it can go, just doesn't sit well with me. But, we're digging ourselves out. We're doing whatever it takes to get rid of it. So Amazon, you shall be gone. I did cancel my Prime membership as well, so I have not had Amazon Prime for a couple of months, which I honestly didn't realize that if you spend $25 on Amazon anyways, you get free shipping on most items. It takes a little bit longer. I don't think you get Prime shipping, like 2-day shipping, but I can learn a little bit of patience for, not having to spend $15 a month on an Amazon membership. So we got that, Target and Venmo, Citi Double Cash. We've got this other Citi card that is closed. So this one, I'm not sure if I'm going to really focus on that one since it's closed, how quickly I want to pay that off. I do think it's probably going to be Rakuten, PayPal, Amazon, and maybe Venmo. Since this has the highest balance, I think I want to focus on that one next. But yeah, so it's a lot. That is what we are focusing on, are going to be kind of credit cards, and just kind of write out the student loans and just keep doing what we're doing with the car loan. I do have like a budget reset that I'm going to do as well, kind of listing out all of the things that I now have to pay for versus like my old budget, since I don't technically pay rent, but I do give my mom money for rent, but I don't have like an electric bill and, you know, cable and all of that stuff. So I will go over kind of what things I do pay for in my budget now and just like a 2023 overall goals and reset. So thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.